Impression of Gaethje receiving Paddy contract. All right, Gaethje, just dribble here. All right, that should be all good. Just need you to dribble here, here, and here on the back, and everything should be fine. No, that's the amount that we agreed to. All right, thanks, Gaethje. That'll be all the dribble we need. Thank you for the 2. MMA fans are morons. Saw someone say Volk is higher than... I've already read this. Volk is higher than GSP on the GOAT list and said that TKZ and Ortega are better wins than Lopez. I disagree. No, they don't. They must not understand the conditions of which TKZ and Ortega took the fight. Ortega had hardly earned a title shot back, and the only reason it kind of happened was because it was delayed after the Ultimate Fighter when Volkanovski had COVID. And the only reason the Korean Zombie fight happened was because Holloway pulled out of the initial trilogy that they were supposed to have, and TKZ stepped in on short notice while being injured. So just based on forms of those opponents, Diego Lopez is a much greater win, by far. Yeah, retards. I don't put Volk above GSP, but they're neck and neck. I think they're neck and neck. And I think if Volk wins again, he'll be above GSP. But the thing is, yeah, you got to understand that being above GSP means that you're probably the fucking GOAT. So, if Volk defends against an Evloev, he's above GSP. You know, he's probably above Jones, if you include Jones, which I don't. So, he's above him anyway. GSP doesn't have any elite wins. He beat everyone. I know, he beat literally everyone. They don't realize that a lot of these guys that GSP beat were like Strikeforce champs. And Strikeforce was like a... They're not regional guys that ended up waltzing into the UFC, winning a fight or 2, and then fighting GSP. Like, no, a lot of them were fucking the dogs. You know what I'm saying? From other, like, they're almost like more respected than some UFC champs. In fact, they were. GSP doesn't even have... Is this the Power Slap fight companion? No, it's not. If Dustin Poirier stops Max, start the recap video stating, I'm MMA Guru and I'm retarded. No, I've been wrong before and I haven't started it like that. I'll probably just cope about it. Impression of NGANNOU as a highway patrol officer. Everybody stop. I need to make sure you're in the splash zone. You guys, you want me to crash into you? Theoretically speaking, if you and Mighty Mouse had to face 2 Panthers, 2 Bear Cubs, and a slightly aggressive Pitbull, how would you go about it? If me and Mighty Mouse had to face 2 Panthers, 2 Bear Cubs, so the Bear Cubs are irrelevant. They're not a factor. And a slightly aggressive Pitbull. 2 Panthers. Right, so I'd let DJ handle the Pitbull very quickly. And I think he would be able to handle it very quickly. The thing is about the Panthers is if they see DJ, they are going to kill him. Whereas if they see me, they might think about it for a moment until it's me and DJ against the 2 Panthers. So I would say that I'd let DJ immediately kill the Pitbull while I sort of stand in front of the Panthers and go like that. And then hopefully they just sort of leave us alone. And then maybe if it's me and DJ, we could beat the Panthers together. But it's still risky, you know what I'm saying? But that would be the game plan. Hopefully I could intimidate them. Thank you very much for the $5. $2. How are you going to try and break down this card? I've already done it. Thank you for the 2. What do you mean? Still with these media questions? What's up, Raw OG? Impression of Paulo saying, well, Izzy and Diane, very gay, they take energy from the bomb. They take energy. October 11th is your date, and you'll dance for me, boy. Thank you for the $2. Thoughts on Till versus ROCKHOLD and Tony versus SALTPAPI? I think Till's going to beat ROCKHOLD, and I'm going to be cheering for him, you know what I mean? I'm going to be cheering for my boy Darren Till. So I'm really hoping that he gets this one done in devastating fashion. That'd be nice. Good old TKO win for Darren Till. Get him in the mix against some of these big names. And then I'm thinking SALTPAPI chins Tony Ferguson badly and KOs him because Tony Ferguson's shit. And he'll make MMA look like a fucking joke once again. Who wins, 200 pounds of chicken wings or Daniel Cormier? Also, do you think you can do an impression of Pimlet walking in on Conor lifting weights? Thank you for the $5 Canadian, dude. Also, do you think you can do an impression of Pimlet walking in on Conor lifting weights? 200 pounds of chicken wings or Daniel Cormier? Daniel Cormier, I reckon. Thank you for the $5 Canadian. Pimlet walking in on Conor. Hey, lad. Hey, let me in there, lad. I need to get something from my wardrobe, lad. The fuck you doing, lad? That's fucking heavy, lad. That's fucking heavy. Sup, Julius? Who do you got for Pavlovich versus Waldo Cortez? Pavlovich should chin him pretty easily, I would imagine. I could even see Pavlovich, like, chewing him up with the low kicks. Like, that's got to be a part of it. Did you see the girl at school who got sent home for wearing a Union Jack dress on Culture Day? Your country? Yeah, you can't rep the fucking our country's flag. It's over, man. It's over. Thank you for the $5. People will riot over George Droid, but not Epstein. That's actually so fucking true, you know. Isn't that weird? I didn't even think about that. I want to see if military would stop a riot against pedos. If so, us goy peasants are truly hopeless. Yeah, that's actually interesting to think about, yeah. Cities burned because some retard black guy got fucking killed by a police officer. Some criminal guy. Cokehead retard. And then Epstein files get fucking covered up and nobody's out in the streets. Not one person. It's kind of insane, right? But, you know. I think riots kind of fell off, chat. Who's with me? Kind of cringe these days, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Riots are pretty fucking cringe. Fenthead? Yeah, sorry, Fenthead he was. And he stuck up a pregnant woman with a gun at robbery. So, fuck him, dude. How is it possible that someone can pick you up a sport at 20 and become a champion? MMA. That's how it's possible. Thank you for the $10. Appreciate you. MMA. That's how it's possible. That's how it's possible, man. Only in MMA, dude. They're not the same as the NFL, the NBA, any other fucking major sport. Didn't start on my knees, and now it's purple. What do? I don't know. You should have listened to Chael Sonnen's advice, dude. You're not Conor, bro. Little bro. You're not Conor. Can you do a South Park Cartman mad at Conor over coke?
What the fuck, Conor?
I don't know. It has to be something Cartman has said for me to do a good impression of it. How's your family feel working the whole life and I just give you $5? Why'd you have to repeat it? Thank you for the $5. They're fucking happy, dude. They weren't in the generation of the being YouTube influencer job. So they're fine with it, man. They've had a good life. Thank you for the 5. Impression of a Marab fan, and they raised me, so they can take some credit. Impression of Marab fan doing the "You'll never make me feel this" rant after Marab beats Pantoja by unanimous decision and failing 100 takedown attempts. You'll never make us feel this. Only Marab can make us feel such overwhelming excitement. Why did Khabib never fight Pereira? Pussy, I think. Fucking bitch. That's what I think. Who cares if they weren't in the sport at the same time? Psh, ducking him, that's what I say. If the zombie apocalypse began at UFC fight card, and Kevin Holland, Patricio Pitbull, Pimlet, and Kai Kara France became zombies, who do you take? What zombie would I take? Kai Kara France. I'd just fucking punt him. You know? Yeah, Kai Kara France is a zombie for sure. What a way to go out for Tony. All of his MMA career just to end up being slept face first on the canvas by SALTPAPI in front of 12-year-olds. Honestly, dude, fuck him. I think, you know what it is with Tony Ferguson, chat? And I don't know this experience, but you know when you, and Shane Gillis described it this way at first as well. I remember seeing a short from Shane Gillis. And he said the sad part is about having a heroin addict in the family is that you're happy when they're dead. Because they become such an emotional burden to you and your life in the later ends of their addiction, that once they're actually overdosed and dead, then you're actually kind of relieved and happy. That's how I feel about Tony Ferguson, dude. Just fucking die and stop putting me through this fucking pain. I don't need to feel this. I shouldn't have to worry about this. You've made millions. You can start a fucking Snapdown City MMA gym anywhere and it will be a success. But no, you have to do this fucking retarded shit because you're a fucking retard. So just get lost and stop putting me through this shit. I'm going to have to see a clip of Tony Ferguson getting fucking slept by SALTPAPI and then him doing the fucking Running Man meme in the cage while Ferguson's on the fucking ground. And that's the win that Pimlet got ranked off of? That's the thing that justified Gaethje? Fucking do that to me, dude. You're an embarrassment to the sport. Get lost. Sick of it now. I've gone from being sad that he's losing to hating him. So fuck him. Anyway. Ferguson in a dress or Lauren Murphy? Probably Lauren Murphy gets that one done, TKO. Guru, Tony just wants to know what it feels like to win, man. In 2019 was his last win. After that, he'll definitely retire. But he's not going to win against SALTPAPI, man. Just call it. You know what it feels like to win. You've done a lot of it, you know? Why don't these guys get that? Impression of Guru telling his mum, well, welcome to London, as a group of YNs. They weren't the other ones. It was just YNs. Have a knife fight to the death. It wasn't a knife fight to the death, but yeah, that did happen. Well. I hit a well to my mum once when we saw crime happening. Honest opinion on Jittercore. Is that Paulo Costa's new edit style? I'm not sure. Dana still cool with Trump after the Epstein stuff? Thank you for the $2. That's what it is. Died laughing at clip. Well, Dana's under the thumb of them. You know what I'm saying? I just think he lives this gambling lifestyle. You know who runs the UFC. You know who runs the American government. You know who runs the Republican Party. You know who runs the Democratic Party. Like, why are we still acting surprised? Died laughing at the clip. Remember, September 11th is your date. True. Appreciate all you do and the work you put into it. Never bend and keep your personal values and morals as your compass. Thank you for the $5. Evergreen Rider. I appreciate the $5, dude. Thank you. My ambitions as a rider. Thank you, man. Thoughts on ARMAN'S 1 million offer to Tapuria? Shut the fuck up, bitch. Gaethje and ARMAN still competing for a title shot rather than fight someone. Fuck both of them. I've always thought Max was overrated. Dustin Poirier TKO. I don't think you can say that after his Gaethje performance. My wife's pregnant. VOLK edits. He will be watching. Thank you for the $2. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Riots are gay, but not rioting gayer. What do we do? I have no idea, brother. Become a millionaire and have 10 kids. Dana is the first person to be controlled by... Yes, true. Thank you for the $2. He's an interesting man. Impression of Yoel reacting to John asking to grapple him. Well, he's basically run by the West and the East. You know? Impression of Yoel reacting to John asking to grapple him.
Hey! No! I know! You make it clap!
Thank you. Max has no chin. Mark my words. Shell chin. Round 1. No! Don't do it. Who you got, Usyk or Dubois? I've got Usyk again. Sorry for boxing question. No problem. It is risky, though. Dubois is a powerful dude, and they're all heavyweights compared to Usyk, right? So every time he goes out there, he runs the fucking risk that he's going to be outpowered too much. But he could win. He'll pull it off again. Usyk always pulls it off, man. And I kind of hope he does, dude. Fuck Dubois. Dubois, fuck Joshua. Fuck Fury. Usyk's the real man. So I hope he wins. He's a good example for people. How do you feel about people calling interim champs former champs? It's bullshit. It depends on the interim championship. This is in reference to Izzy's statement on Dustin. Couldn't it be misleading? For Dustin Poirier, though, he got it off of Holloway when Holloway was the champion at 145. I know he didn't fight him at 145, but there's connotations to where, okay, let's consider Poirier's championship a little bit more worthy than Jamal Hill's. You know what I'm saying? Like, I consider it that. But in general, it's not a championship. Israel Adesanya's just sort of enforced that on everyone. So he can say that he has an extra title defense, but even though he was an interim champ fighting Whitaker, he calls that a title defense. So it's just Adesanya trying to force his narrative and his story. You know what I'm saying? Rather than history. Impression of Moicano calling for the release of the Epstein files post-fight. Let me tell you something, my brother. This fucking country need to release the fucking Epstein files, my brother. Let's go. Let's go, USA, brood. Let's go, Anaheim. I don't know if he's in Anaheim or some shit. Let's go, Anaheim. Who's with me, brood? They need to release the fucking list because I want people to see I'm on that list, brood. I'm on it. Thank you for the 2. We are Kevin Vellejos. Oh, wait. You know that back kick on Gaethje was a fluke? No, but it wasn't, no, because that's what he went for. And that was actually a smart thing to do against Gaethje. I even called it in the build-up. He should have gone for it more against Ilya, to be fair. We are Kevin Vellejos. We are 15-1. We will be champ. Okay. Honest, where's fucking Kevin Vellejos, dude? We need him back as well. Honest opinion on Fedor's run and how would he do today? Fedor would beat Tybura in his prime. So he'd be a top 10 heavyweight. But I don't think he'd be better than the top guys. Like Volkov, I think he'd fuck that fat fuck up. And Aspinall blitz for him in a minute. He could beat Blades. And honestly, chat, yes or no, after watching Blades versus Kuniev, Fedor might beat Prime Blades. Let's be real. It's not Kevin Vellejos in chat, stop. He probably beats Blades, or at least this version of Blades, if this isn't Prime Blades. You know? Fedor wasn't really a heavyweight, though. Yeah, but he was still fighting heavyweight-sized guys. No? Dude, after watching the Kuniev fight, I feel like Fedor could pull off the win. That'd be like a pick-em fight, Prime for Prime. Prime Blade's 50-45 to Volkov. He didn't know. He arguably lost the last 2 rounds. And I think he did at least lose one of them. But yeah, that was when he was really good. But that wasn't Prime Volkov because he lost. People are only in their primes when they win. What don't you guys understand? God. Impression of Steve ERCEG, the creator of the cock strength technique, teaching Conor how to balance it.
So, what you want to do is you want to just put a, you know, just put a fucking a thing there, and then get out of it, or just balance. You want to put a couple strings on top for extra support.
Thank you for the $5. If you hear most overrated MMA fighter, who's the first name that comes to mind? Cody Garbrandt. He's never good. Other than that, most overrated MMA fighter who comes to mind. Who does come to mind? No one's coming to mind that makes sense. Jon Jones. The way people talk about Jon Jones. I saw a comment today that was like a top liked comment on a post saying, haha, all these Tom fanboys, one kick from Jones and he'll crumble. I'm like, dude, what is, they're like threats. Jon Jones fans' threats are like nothing like how Jones fights. One kick from Jones and he'll crumble. Zabit is also very overrated, I agree. But yeah. Benoit was overrated. That was the Lucas Tracy propaganda mission that he was on. Who do you see out of the fighting nerds to have the most successful career when they retire? When they retire, have the most successful career. Mauricio Huffy looks quite smart. So does Baraujo. So they'll probably make better connections. Oh, but you mean in terms of like their actual fighting career when it's all said and done? Gene Silver's the only one touching a UFC World Championship, so I'll go Gene Silver. How do you think McGregor would have evolved if he stayed in the UFC after Eddie? After Eddie Alvarez, I think he beats Khabib. I think, yes or no, and I really do believe this, Conor McGregor, if he stays locked in for like 4 or 5 months after the Alvarez fight and takes the Khabib that fought Ally Quinta, he beats him. I've always thought that. He would have beaten him. If he stayed dialed in after the Alvarez fight, 4 or 5 months later, he fights the Khabib that ended up fighting Ally Quinta. He beats that version of Khabib, I reckon. Khabib, once he got the championship, took himself to a different level. You know? Just because there was so much more on the line for everyone that was fighting him. And there was like, oh, this is their big moment. And then it's Khabib on top of him. I think McGregor, if he fought the one that fought Ally Quinta, would have beaten him. Thank you for the 50,000 PYG. Would you rather walk the streets of London with a Rolex on for 24 hours? Or so get a Rolex stolen from me by some fucking absolute Marley. Or have Jon Jones in Hey Blue Eyes mode trying to find you for 24 hours. You can't stop him, only run. I'll lose a Rolex to my fucking anal virginity, I say. Thank you for the 50,000. Pay-per-view's expensive, dude. I owe you. Impression of gay Conor. Somebody fucking sniff a line out me gooch, mate. I don't know. Thank you for the 2.